This is a Uniqsis FlowUV system. This allows the researcher to look at wavelengths between 200 and 1100 nanometers at high pressure in a flow chemistry system. Thus, the researcher can see the creation of products, the creation of byproducts, or the disappearance of reagents all in one graphical display. The user can also select up to 5 wavelengths and plot those individual wavelengths on the screen, and also be collected in a file for later evaluation. The overall FlowUV system consists of 3 components. We have the laptop for data acquisition and looking at the graph of the UV signatures that goes through the flow cell. The spectrophotometer itself is actually doing the measurement. And the last component is the FlowUV cell. The FlowUV cell consists of PFA tubing that passes through the cell. It does not wet the metal housing at all. And the incipient and receiving electrical connections that go back to the UV spectrophotometer. The UV spectrophotometer lamp is made up of a 3,468 enhanced UV pixel array. The PFA tubing has the ability to handle 30 bar of pressure. The UV spectrophotometer communicates with the laptop through a dedicated Wi-Fi router. The screen for the laptop has several points of interest. One is at the top is a total UV signature from 200 to 1100 nanometers of everything that you're looking at. The bottom screen shows the 5 user-selected wavelengths, and these will operate in a few minutes, that are set through these buttons over here. So in essence, you're able to follow whatever wavelength that you like, up to 5 of them, and this is also collected in a file for export later. Up here is a strobe intensity light, so you can change that from 0 to 100%. This is a relatively benign solvent, so we have it set down at 15%. Finally, there's a Save Blank button, and what this allows you to do is save the blank spectrum so that the deflection from 100% transmission is measured against the blank. All right, we're going to start a flow chemistry experiment using blue and yellow dye to make green through a mixing chip and a coil. And as the green dye comes out of, a green mixture comes out of the coil and goes through the FlowUV cell, we'll be able to see the transmission change on the UV spectrophotometer. So I'll start the experiment. Here the solvent is going, the reagents are going through the mixing chip. And as you can see, the green color is now in the mixing chip and is now starting to enter the coil. And as it exits the coil and goes through the flow cell, we'll be able to see the signature on the bottom screen here. Okay, as you can see, the green color is coming to the top of the coil, hasn't started to exit it yet. And on the screen here, we see no change in transmittance. It's still 100% for all 5 of the wavelengths that I've chosen, which is 250, 420, 560, 615, and 700 nanometers. Now we can see a little bit of deviation, and the green is exiting the top of the coil. Our fraction collector jumps into service and is starting to collect our product at the same time. And as you can see, the slow deviation of the green color and the absorption of the various wavelengths increasing as the green goes through the flow cell. And at the top, the white line is the current wavelength spectrum, and the red line is the blank. Okay, now we've collected the hard cut of our product. We still have some green that is emanating from the leaving the coil, and that's showing right here as the green dye comes through the flow cell. And we return to a steady state, and the transmittance will go back up to 100%. So you can see the coil is, actually the next experiment has started, so there's now green is entering the bottom, but the top of the coil is almost all solvent. It's clear, up to 100%. Transmittance at the top, and you'll see your next experiment start when the rest of that green gets up and comes out through the flow cell. Thank you very much.